From Trails to Turnpikes, a brief history of the early roads of New Jersey. While New Jersey contains 39,000 miles of public roadways today, the state's roads were at one point non-existent. In fact, though it might be difficult to imagine in the present day, the idea of transportation over land was considered so insignificant in comparison to waterway travel that roads did not appear on any American maps until 1729. And even when eventually included, early routes still left much to be desired. For most of the 17th and 18th centuries, roads were often small, catering primarily to local traffic. As seen in the 1777 map of New Jersey, with an enlarged view of the area that would become Morris County, a few larger routes did exist. However, if a traveler came across these roads, there was no guarantee that they would be able to pass, as stumps, stones, and mud frequently stopped wheeled vehicles in their path. Accompanying these early roadways were Native American trails. These trails, such as the Minnesink from Navesink near Sandy Hook to Minnesink Island in the Delaware River, were well known in the area. They would eventually play an important role in the further development of roads, as many of the earliest routes came from converted trails. Even with this progress, there would still be a few bumps in the construction of any kind of extensive and efficient roadways. The first of these issues stemmed from the fact that there was little knowledge of how to build a firm roadbed, and the second came as a result of laws that placed individual settlements in charge of road building. For while each settlement was concerned with making local transportation easier, they had less of an interest in establishing a comprehensive system between settlements. As a result, the advancement of the state's roads stalled until the beginning of the 19th century. The opening of the new century also ushered in what would become known as the Turnpike Era in the United States. During this period, a craze for building roads overtook the country, as more and more people saw the host of potential benefits that better roadways offered. Indeed, the construction of well-maintained turnpikes could lower the cost of goods, ease transportation, and increase the accessibility of schools and churches for the general population. In addition to personal benefits, turnpikes also offered professional gain as well, as they would increase the transportation of the products of northern New Jersey and Pennsylvania farms and mines to major markets like New York City. Although slightly later than the rest of the northeastern part of the country, New Jersey incorporated its first toll road, the Moors Turnpike, in 1801. The newly constructed turnpike was about 50 miles long and 20 miles wide, being paved with crushed stone. Construction of the Moors Turnpike was completed in 3 sections. The first covering from Elizabeth through Springfield and Chatham to Morristown, the second through Succassona to Stanhope, and the third through Newton. Following the Morris Turnpike, the next 20 years witnessed the construction of local turnpikes, including the Washington Turnpike, the Newark and Mount Pleasant Turnpike, and the Parsippany and Rockaway Turnpike, each highlighted here. While not every turnpike constructed after the Morris Turnpike was paved, each one included tolls. In fact, giving meaning to their names, turnpikes contained pikes, or bars that would be turned after travelers paid the toll. Stationed at intervals of a few miles, toll collectors stopped all persons until payment of the toll was made. Of course, this did not stop some from trying to skip out on toll payment by taking alternate routes, called shunpikes. While success meant avoiding payment, which started at 5 cents, their failure promised a fine of 3 times the cost of the toll. One group of travelers who did not need to take a shunpike to avoid stopping for a toll collector were stagecoach companies. Operating on turnpikes, stagecoaches functioned as a major source of income for turnpike companies. In a mutually beneficial agreement, stagecoaches continued to use turnpikes, but did not have to pay at each toll. Instead, similar to an Easy Pass today, stagecoach companies signed annual contracts, usually at a slight discount from the full toll, and made quarterly or semi-annual payments based on the number of trips and types of vehicles. As with all things, the heyday of the Turnpike Era came to a close by 1829. At that point, most of the local turnpikes had been sold off or abandoned as toll roads, while the Morris Turnpike Company remained until the 1860s. With its ability to transport 10 times as much as a wagon with a 4-horse team, the opening of the Morse Canal in 1831 acted as the death knell for turnpikes. While perhaps gone, roadways could no longer be forgotten. And as the population increased in another few decades, the expansion of systems of roads would again take center stage, setting up the foundations of those still traveled on today.